World War II was not just a war, it was a chain reaction of fear, ambition, revenge, technology, propaganda, and human desperation that swallowed almost the entire planet. But how did one conflict become so massive that over 70 million people died? Why did ordinary citizens follow dangerous leaders? How did a failed artist become one of history's most feared dictators? Why did countries that once ignored each other suddenly become deadly enemies? And how did one assassination in the previous war plant the seeds for an even bigger catastrophe? Let me explain the whole scenario to you simply. Chapter 1. The Broken World After World War I. After World War I ended in 1918, Europe looked peaceful on the surface, but underneath, anger was quietly growing. Germany had lost the war, and the Treaty of Versailles punished the country harshly. Germany lost land, colonies, military power, and was forced to pay enormous reparations. Many Germans felt humiliated. Their economy collapsed, unemployment exploded, and inflation became so bad that people carried money in wheelbarrows just to buy bread. Families suffered while politicians seemed weak and powerless. This unstable environment created the perfect opportunity for extremists. Across Europe, people feared communism, economic collapse, and political chaos. In Germany, many citizens began searching for someone who could restore national pride and stability. That person would soon be Adolf Hitler. In 1923, Hitler attempted to overthrow the German government during an event known as the Beer Hall Putsch. The coup failed badly, and he was arrested. While in prison, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, outlining many of the beliefs and ambitions that would later shape Nazi Germany. At the same time, other countries were struggling too. The Great Depression destroyed economies worldwide in the 1930s. Millions lost jobs, businesses collapsed, and democratic governments appeared incapable of solving the crisis. This made radical ideologies more attractive. Fascism in Italy under Benito Mussolini and militarism in Japan also began expanding aggressively. Meanwhile, the League of Nations, created to maintain peace after World War I, proved weak. Countries argued, but rarely took strong action against aggression. This weakness would later encourage dictators to become even bolder. Chapter 2. How Hitler Rose to Power. Adolf Hitler was not born powerful. Before politics, he struggled as a failed artist and lived in poverty. But he possessed one dangerous talent: public speaking. He understood how to manipulate emotions, especially fear, anger, humiliation, and hope. Hitler joined the Nazi Party and promised Germans three things: restore Germany's greatness, rebuild the economy, and destroy the enemies he blamed for Germany's suffering. He used propaganda masterfully: massive rallies, emotional speeches, posters, radio broadcasts, and symbols created the illusion that the Nazis were unstoppable. The Nazi government also controlled information. Newspapers, schools, films, and education were carefully shaped to influence public thinking. Critics were silenced. Fear became a political weapon. Secret police known as the Gestapo hunted opposition, while concentration camps imprisoned political enemies. Hitler blamed Jews, communists, and other minorities for Germany's problems. This scapegoating strategy united many frustrated citizens behind him. It gave people simple answers during difficult times, even though those answers were built on hatred and lies. As Hitler gained power, he secretly rebuilt Germany's military despite restrictions from the Treaty of Versailles. Factories expanded, weapons production increased, and soldiers trained again. Many European leaders noticed the danger, but hoped diplomacy would avoid another world war. Chapter 3. The world fails to stop Hitler. During the 1930s, Hitler began testing how far he could go without triggering a major war. First, Germany remilitarized the Rhineland. Then Hitler annexed Austria in 1938. Surprisingly, very little resistance came from Britain or France. Many leaders followed a strategy called appeasement. They believed giving Hitler some demands might prevent another devastating war like World War I. British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain famously returned from negotiations claiming there would be peace for our time. But Hitler interpreted compromise as weakness. Soon after, Germany demanded part of Czechoslovakia called the Sudetenland. European leaders again allowed it. But Hitler did not stop there. In 1939, Germany invaded the rest of Czechoslovakia completely, proving his promises meant nothing. Then came the moment that changed everything. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland using a terrifying new military strategy called Blitzkrieg, meaning lightning war. Fast-moving tanks, aircraft, and soldiers attacked with overwhelming speed before enemies could properly react. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. World War II had officially begun. People across Europe feared another endless bloodbath like World War I. But this war would become even larger, faster, and deadlier than anyone imagined. Chapter 4: Hitler Conquers Europe. Germany's early victories shocked the world. Using blitzkrieg tactics, Hitler's forces rapidly conquered Poland, Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, and France. Entire countries collapsed within weeks. Europe suddenly looked unstoppable under Nazi control. France's defeat especially stunned people because France had been considered one of Europe's strongest military powers. Many believed Germany could now dominate the continent completely. Britain now stood almost alone against Hitler. The Battle of Britain became one of the first major air wars in history. German bombers attacked British cities daily while the Royal Air Force defended the skies. Civilians hid in underground stations during bombing raids as explosions destroyed homes, streets, and factories. Despite heavy destruction, Britain refused to surrender. Meanwhile, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa in 1941, the massive invasion of the Soviet Union. This became one of the deadliest military operations ever. Initially, Germany advanced rapidly, capturing huge territories and pushing deep into Soviet land. But Hitler underestimated three things: the size of the Soviet Union, the determination of Soviet resistance, and the brutal Russian winter. As winter conditions worsened, German supply lines stretched dangerously thin. Soldiers lacked food, fuel, winter clothing, and medical supplies. What was supposed to be a quick victory slowly turned into a catastrophic war of attrition. At the same time, Nazi persecution intensified into genocide. Millions of Jews and other minorities were systematically murdered during the Holocaust. Concentration camps and extermination camps became symbols of industrial-scale horror. The world was witnessing cruelty on a level never seen before. Chapter 5: Pearl Harbor and the Global War. Japan had been expanding aggressively across Asia for years. The Japanese military wanted resources, territory, and dominance in the Pacific. As tensions grew with the United States, Japan feared American interference would block its ambitions. Then, on December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, a major American naval base in Hawaii. The attack destroyed battleships, aircraft, and killed thousands of Americans. The next day, the United States declared war on Japan. Soon after, Germany declared war on the United States as well. The conflict had now become fully global. American industrial power quickly transformed the war. Factories produced enormous numbers of tanks, planes, ships, and weapons. Entire cities became production centers operating day and night. Meanwhile, battles across the Pacific became extremely brutal. Island warfare involved jungles, mountains, caves, intense heat, and massive casualties. Every island became a deadly battlefield. In Europe, the Allies slowly began pushing back against Germany. The Soviet Union defeated German forces at Stalingrad in one of history's bloodiest battles. In North Africa, Allied forces gained momentum against Axis troops. Then came one of the most important military operations in modern history: D-Day. On June 6, 1944, Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, beginning the liberation of Western Europe. This operation marked the beginning of Nazi Germany's collapse. Germany was now trapped between Soviet forces advancing from the east and Allied armies attacking from the west. The end of Hitler's empire was approaching fast. Chapter 6: The Fall of the Axis Powers. By 1945, Germany was collapsing under constant attacks. Cities were heavily bombed, resources were exhausted, and morale was shattered. Soviet troops entered Berlin while Hitler hid inside his underground bunker beneath the city. As Allied forces closed in from every direction, the Third Reich rapidly fell apart. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide inside his bunker. Soon after, Germany officially surrendered. Meanwhile, in Italy, Benito Mussolini attempted to flee the country disguised among retreating troops. But the war in the Pacific still continued. Japan refused to surrender despite devastating losses. American leaders feared that invading mainland Japan could cost millions of lives on both sides. The United States then made a decision that would permanently change human history. In August 1945, atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The explosions instantly destroyed entire cities and killed massive numbers of civilians. The destructive power shocked the entire world. Faced with unimaginable destruction, Japan surrendered shortly afterward. World War II was finally over, but the consequences reshaped the entire world.